You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Good morning, everyone. This is Walter from iWalter's Monday morning. It's February 1st. I know this because my birthday is in February 7th. Yes, it is Monday morning, 20 of 11, practically, almost, not quite. And yeah, I didn't do a show yesterday, simply because I've just been under the weather. I don't know what happened with this. I think because of the change of climate, it's been really, I just been having a sore throat. Then sinuses were acting up, and then just acid reflux of yesterday. The whole entire day I was just like spitting up acid from my stomach, so I don't know what's going on. I'm actually going to take into consideration my one friend, good luck today, my one friend Matt, he starts some type of special program on how to eat, a special diet that he has put upon himself, and it's very difficult. I give him more credit, a lot of credit, because I know I couldn't do it at all. Forgive me because I might be hacking and coughing a little bit. My throat's still a little bit. I'm taking sinus cold medicine because that's basically what it is. It's a sinus infection almost. Obviously, it goes down in your throat. Somehow it always ends up doing that, at least for me. But I really wanted to do a show last night because I saw this one article and it's like, this is just ridiculous. I mean, I've seen some really wacky stuff, but lately it's just over the top. Make sure my thing's off. My speaker to my computer that I actually put up the stories. If I don't do that, you end up hearing background noise like email notifications, things like that. So I had to keep that on top. But, I guess people will say, I'm sure that, you always complain about the same thing, but there's a good reason for that too. But trying to find, maybe I can just match these two stories up right away. Basically, a lot of the stories I found yesterday kind of got me mad, or, we just kind of cave into these migrants and give them everything they want. We don't question their beliefs. We don't question their behaviors. We just kind of turn the other cheek constantly. And it's just, when is this going to stop? Maybe God has to strike his hand down once again on this planet and just put people straight, because obviously the left has gone far left, as I saw in one article. But this one, actually, I was going to do a story yesterday, but like I said, I just lost my voice. And I obviously don't have it back. And the acid reflux doesn't help at all. So I'm trying to be careful. That's why I need to go on something very strict, as my one friend has had started today on a diet. Because if you do watch what you eat, you don't put a lot of junk in your body, that will cut back and alleviate a lot of problems with weight gain, acid reflux, flux, and other things. Anyway, this one story, it was from a web link I found called 100% Fed Up. And yeah, you can't say any better. I saw this picture, and it's like this older guy, like an old man with this little kid in a bride's uniform. It's his bride. and it was titled "Older Husband Allowed to Sleep with His Child Brides, Not Just One, on Weekends at Danish Asylum Center." So it's for more of these migrants, and their wives are these are grown adults, grown men, even much older than me. I'm going to be 50 next year. I'll be 49 this year. But different ages of grown men, these migrants who are allowed now to have their child brides live with them and have sex with them. Now, these child brides, according to the story, are ages 14 through 15. That's the common age for them to have get married to these girls, 14 and 15 years old. They actually look younger than that. But it says when Sharia law became the official law of the EU, see how many bleeding heart liberals will be wishing they could turn back time. It's only a matter of time before the Dutch women will clad head to toe with this burlesque, or whatever how you say it. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, this article from this site is they are now allow them to have their wives that are 14, 15-year-old little girls that have sexual relationships with them. And these, basically what I gather in these, these, where they put the migrants in these, these specific areas. I mean, you wonder why there's so many problems with all this crap going on with this rape and other stuff that's really serious. It's because there's nobody, who we have all these in different countries, these left-wing radicals who just let these people do whatever they want. There's nobody to say, listen, you know what? You can't do this in our country. When are people going to put their foot down on this stuff? On the child perspective, though, there was another story, not with migrants, though, but I figured I'll just pop it up or put it up now. It was on the Daily Mail. I read this story the other day, but they actually got more coverage now on this story about what appeared to be a male priest in training arrested in San Diego airport for seeking sex with infants in Mexico after the Homeland Security probe found adverted he had posted an advertisement he had placed on Craigslist. So I never really liked Craigslist personally. I got to take a swallow real quick because my throat. And there is a lot of sex scandals on there. So, yeah, I mean, but you know what? This will get more attention and more action. I mean, not that, more attention than the migrant issues. That doesn't seem to be an issue with these Muslims and these migrants raping women, killing people, basically just being out of control. That's not a big issue. The issue is now, I mean, this is totally wrong. Don't get me wrong. But you know why they're attacking this story, though, the one I just mentioned about this male priest, because, what is a priest? He's a Christian. So, they're going to make this a big story, and this is going to surpass. I know what he's doing is wrong. The guy looks really goofy, by the way, because they have pictures of him up. But this will get more attention and more, coverage than these migrants having sex with 12-year-old, with their 12-year-old brides. I said 14, but trust me, you look at the pictures, they actually look like they're like below actually the age of 12. And they're saying they're 14 and 15. I seriously doubt it. If you looked at the pictures from this one article I read just before this one from the UK Daily Mail, you would have to agree with me, to say the least. Yeah, this girl does not look 14 or 15. I know what 14, 15-year-old girls look like. I see them. He's got a lot of neighbors who have kids, and if these kids are 14 and 15, I'm as old as Doctor Who. I'm like 756 years old or 900 years old or whatever. It's just a way of just kind of glossing a story a little bit. I'm going to try to stick to this. I never do, but I'm going to try to a little bit of just kind of glossing over the stories, put them in my own words. A friend agreed with me. That actually works out better. Joe the plumber had placed this up the other day, by the way, and it was, on the welfare payout statistics that will make it says basically it'll make your blood boil, and it really will, because some of these people not working are making as much money, if not more, than we, the people in my listener audience that actually, obtain a job. So it's really sad, because some of these jobs are these places where the people are just collecting on welfare in the United States. I'm looking at these statistics. One job is like equivalent to having a job making $15 an hour. One's equivalent to making $20 an hour. One's equivalent. It even says equivalent to making $29.13 per hour, and that was in D.C. No, it was Hawaii. D.C. is like making $25 an hour. Massachusetts is like making $25 an hour just to sit on your ass and collect and have other people, pay for, you to sit around doing nothing and just have more children or whatever, and have them become like welfare babies too, dependent on welfare as well. Connecticut is like equivalent to having a job of $22 an hour. New York is like having a job making $21 an hour, just not even work at all. New Jersey is like almost $21 an hour. So is Rhode Island and Vermont. Now, part of the story, there was a video underneath that, people are upset because they're going to be slashing. Generally people were put on almost like indefinitely on welfare. Like they didn't have to worry about getting off it. They could live on welfare pretty much their whole entire life and not have to worry about it. They want to slash this now in certain states, or a state, I can't remember. It says welfare limit to 1 year. And it's like, oh, this is going to be really tough on me, because I had this interview with this woman. It's going to be tough on me. Well, if the reason the economy is so bad, the reason that you can't get a job is because, you basically made it difficult by living on welfare and, electing who we have in office that allows this to happen, that, hey, you don't have to work. We'll help you out. We'll compensate you. And the Democrats, all they're worried about, because they're the ones enabling these people not to work, is they just want the voters to vote for them. So they continue this shenanigans of enabling people to be, irresponsible and not willing to work. And now it's so out of hand. My one friend, he said, I guess he's getting prepared for like an economic fallout, or basically it's gonna, this whole thing's gonna collapse, and he feels it's going to be happening probably within the year. And you know what? I kind of agree with him. I'm not actually paraphrasing him correctly, so I apologize to him, my friend Matt. But he is actually right. I mean, there's no way you could sustain a nation where there is actually, over half the nation, over half of it is not working. You're just collecting on benefits, welfare, these different programs, and not working at all. And this has been going on for years, surprisingly, with no repercussion. But that's going to end very soon, very, very soon. Anyway, to lighten up, there was a story my friend Todd sent me the other day. I was sick. I still am. Ace876daily.com. It says a 79-year-old woman electrocuted herself by a faulty dildo after falling asleep with the device inside of her. So it's a short story. It was in California. This woman, Harley Quinn, was found unresponsive in her Beverly Hills home after she an unfortunate incident with her personal massager, basically her vibrator. Since the woman was taken to a nearby hospital, she was revived and treated for her injuries. According to the medical report, Green was unresponsive for nearly 5 minutes. what a way to go. And they have a picture with it blotted out of her vibrator. And it looks like it's kind of bloody, too. So probably did some, obviously, internal damage. It is kind of humorous, but, hey, it's amazing that the woman's still thinking about, basically getting pleasured at 79. It makes me kind of feel a little bit better that, hey, when I get older, in another 40 years from now, 50 years from now, well, I'll be 100 by then, if I'm alive, that my urge to have pleasure myself won't be any less. That could be bad, too. Anyway, there was a story on thepatch.com. These are all over the place, these stories. I'll just let you know now. Has nothing to do with politics or a woman with a vibrator. It says cable satellite box rental fees could become a thing of the past. This is our local paper. An FCC proposal wants to cut costly rentals and potentially replace them with third-party devices, which I actually don't have a problem with. I'll have to mention this. I forgot to my father, too, because we have 3 cable boxes. We're getting charged for each one individually from Verizon. And basically, with this new thing, if this goes through, because they did that with the phones years ago, you had to pay a rental fee for your phones. Then you were able to buy your own phone. That makes it much, much more affordable. It says under the FCC proposal introduced this week, third-party parties could manufacture set-top boxes that would show show the content you get from, say, Verizon, Time Warner, without the use of the company's equipment and monthly costs. I would go for that in a heartbeat. I paid a couple $100 for the set-top box, and you'd end up getting your money back very quickly, trust me. Sounds like, wait, you just said a couple $100, though. Yeah, but trust me, you'll get that money back very quickly. There was a couple different stories. I'm sorry, I knew I was going to be doing that with, clearing my nose, so to speak. There was a story from the morning call. These are stories like a couple days old, at least from yesterday. None of them are very promising, but this one says news conference will be held in detail. Bethlehem shooting arrest. Authorities were hosts a news conference in the afternoon detailing the shootings in both Allentown and Bethlehem near New Hampton County District Attorney John Morganelli said likely connected. Bethlehem Police Chief Mark Aluzio said. Anyway, you know what? Not important. I'll just forget that one. But yeah, it was just bottom line is, I guess why I posted my thing. You're going to notice a lot more of this, like domestic violence and stuff. And my reason for saying this is because you got people who are not working. They got way too much time on their hands. And my personal opinion, I think eventually it's going to happen is when these benefits start to run out for people that, hey, we can't no longer afford to do this stuff. My guess is people are going to, they're going to turn against each other just for, for shelter, for food, for, different things, because obviously, when your benefits run out and you're no longer getting covered by, the government's not paying for things for you, or, you're not getting handouts, government handouts. It's going to lead people very angry because they're going to be used to living this lifestyle where they get brand new TVs and getting their housing paid for, through government assistance, Section 8 housing and these free cell phones and, basically food stamps. When that all stops or gets cut back severely, you know what's going to happen. People are going to be really angry because they're going to be so spoiled that when that stops, these stories that I find of people with this domestic violence and these shootings are going to go up higher than they are actually now. That's just my opinion, but I think that's what's going to happen. Anyway, different story actually on the morning call was that They said National Weather Service flood watch likely in the Lehigh Valley, which would include my area probably, somehow. Allentown, the National Weather Service said it could issue a flood watch nearly this afternoon due to a forecast that calls for heavy rain in the midweek. Meteorologists say the rain and warm temperatures will accelerate the snowmelt in the area, resulting in possible flooding. So they basically said, this is kind of scary because next Saturday, hold on one second. Hold on, I'm just trying to open up. It's not even that important. Okay, it's not working, my computer thing. Alrighty, I'm just going to take it with faith of God that this is actually recording because it's not letting me type in my password to see if my thing is recording. Anyway, yeah, I'm supposed to be going to New Jersey, actually Red Bank, which is actually further north. On Saturday, I'm leaving for the couple days for my vacation / birthday celebration. And, yeah, they're saying like about 1 to 2 inches of rain, and it does say most of Jersey, different sections of, Pennsylvania, Lehigh Valley. And hold on one second. Let me just try it again. I don't know what's going on with my thing. All right, I'm just going to have to take it on blind faith because, it's not letting me log in. I'm just assuming it is recorded. If not, then I just wasted a couple hours or an hour of my time trying to do this show. It's never done that before, but it's a Windows system which does record better, but it's Windows 10. So, yeah, that's actually concerned with, this flood and rain. I don't mind because it'll be less snow I'll have to worry about on my way down on Saturday. Yeah, it says flood watch likely to be issued for Northeast and Southeast Pennsylvania as well as New Jersey and northern Delaware, as I said before. Let me try this one more time. Yeah, it's locked. It's like severely locked, so I'm just hoping this is working. So yeah. I had different stories. Those I try to match up together. This is another one story that's just interesting. I'm telling you, it just proves, in my opinion, it just proves the point on, people expect, it's going to be ugly when, people's benefits are cut back or something because, basically Obama's just made a total turned our whole country into like complete chaos. And, now these people, who are basically being silver spooned, their income, it's going to come to, it's going to become an ugly situation. This one is actually about people working, but you have to hear me out on this one. It's from, WoundedAmericanWarrior.com. It's lots of laughs. Watch this illiterate burger flipper explain why she deserves to be paid more than paramedics. It's no joke. Perhaps nothing better captures the self-absorbed entertainment absorbed the entitlement mentally many Americans have than the response of a fast food worker that this fast food worker gives why she deserves to be paid more than a paramedic. You're talking about a job that a high school kid generally does, and it's Leka Jackson was participating in a fight for $15 hour minimum wage protest. So, this is the other thing. Raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour is another big problem, which obviously is already some people might be aware of out in California, that they've already like shut down certain places like McDonald's or grocery markets that were forced to pay this higher income because they can't afford to keep Walmarts. They said they're trying to strengthen by shutting down for Walmart or shutting down their stores that were less, had less volume of business. But the real reason is because of being forced to pay people health benefits. They're pay for their health benefits because of Obamacare situation, and also paying them like more money, like paying them, making them forcing these businesses to pay out $15 an hour for people. So it's just basically it's destroying our economy. It's basically it's already bankrupt, but it's making it even worse if that's possible. I mean, we're in so much debt that it's probably beyond the trillions at this point. Anyway, it says the median the basic salary of an EMT and paramedic is basically around $32,000 a year, which works out to just about over $15 an hour. So the point is, these people have no education or very little education, high school dropouts, burger flippers, are requesting the same amount of money as we pay for people who have basically trades, college degrees, and other types of jobs. And they're referring to like EMTs and paramedics that, these people flipping burgers are going to be making as much, if not more, than a paramedic or an EMT. And I mean, there's a reason why certain jobs don't pay as much. And the reason is because, we can't afford to pay somebody. I mean, the person you're paying more money for, it's because their job's obviously a lot more important than somebody serving you food, especially at a fast food restaurant. I'm not, disregarding places that are like more fancy smancy, higher end places. That's different. So I'm not talking about those kind of places. Anyway, Joe the Plumber had one up, and there's a couple stories I have on this line, so I'm just letting you know now about these gang rapes. It just seems like it's a new in thing for the millennials to do in certain areas, I guess. Three thugs try to rape a grandmother. Grandpa grabs a shotgun and blasts him. So this was the other day, though. It said 3 armed thugs invade a home in attempts to gang rape a what's this? They must have got this wrong. Rape a 19-year-old, but they didn't come prepared for grandpa. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it said grandmother. I don't know how I said it. It's a granddaughter. So I apologize about that. So, and they have mugshots of all 3 of them, and I'm not going to say much. The good news is news first. When the 3 thugs attempted to rape this grandfather or this man's granddaughter, Grandpa grabbed a gun and blast one of them to hell. The bad news is the hero, the 67-year-old Kenneth Bird, was seriously injured in the shootout with 3 scumbags who invaded their home and terrorized Bird, his wife, and his teenage granddaughter. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to, again, I said you're going to see more of this stuff because people get away with this or find some way of making themselves out to be victims. And there's nothing we can do about it because these 3 quote-unquote thugs will probably get away with what they did. And the guy who defended his own home will probably be up on charges, is my guess. It said the late 20-year-old Jamie Lee Faison and 28-year-old Brandon Carver and Carver Stevens of Fairmont Center, who had recently been released from prison, and a 17-year-old Jameer Hawkins of Lumberton. 1 dead rat, 2 hurting POS, who I only hope don't recover either. Yeah, they are basically typically thugs. No other way to put it. Yeah, I apologize. I said I'm not going to read these stories. I do anyway, and I do a really bad job. So here's another one I found from Joe the Plumber. Thug breaks into a woman's home and sexually assaults her, and then something snaps off. He tries to put his tongue down her throat, and she bites it off, so good for her. And it's another mugshot. Not going to say anything. I'm going to keep myself from making any... even though there's a picture, it'll turn into like, oh, you're being... you're making a big deal out of this. Your stories only seem to revolve around one issue or class of people or ethnic background. I don't do this stuff. These stories just come to me. Trust me. It's just sooner or later everybody will have a bad day. Usually, it's at the hands of the cops and the bigger thug. But once in a while, helpless get their 2 cents in. So, yeah, Joe the Plumber has been really putting a lot of really good stories. It was kind of funny, though. The thug was a 16-year-old who tried to rape some grown adult, and he lost his tongue in the fight of trying to rape this woman. Now, the funny thing is, they said they found him later on. They found him later on at a Waffle House, and it had a little icon. So that's like my new thing. I love Waffle House. And, yeah, that's where they end up finding a guy after he tried to flee the incident. It's not only did he try to flee the scene, he tried to flee the scene in this woman's car as well. But, yeah, they had a little icon of Waffle House. I thought it was pretty funny, actually, the Waffle House thing at least. Not the story of the woman getting raped, but, yeah. So, I'm trying to see what I have. It's covered up by advertisements now. Actually, I'll probably do this. It was on Clash Daily with Doug Giles. I don't really like this guy. This guy's like a leftist, I think. I don't know how to take him. I'm gathering he is, though. But this one was pretty funny, and I have to read at least this from this guy, Doug, on Clash Daily. Dear male cowards, Islam loves your political correctness. And it's true, though. We got so many people, at least in our country, that are just have no backbone. And, so that's why I had to read this. It says, I don't know who started the political correctness purification process on the male collective, but I'd like to find them and pistol whip them into next week with my S&W Model 29 for running our planet. Why am I irate on this glorious morning in this Texas Hill country? Well, simply because males are being shamed, taught, led, pastored, drugged, schooled, coerced or whatever, into throwing out their brains, handled basically, their mindless idiots, handed over their balls and formally abandoning their rifle air on the testosterone leader, God, Fog, that God, and nature hand-wired them all to dwell in. And instead, they became weak, effeminate, Magnus sporting, shivered up quill, and that's why. I don't know. I know. I just screwed up another story just now. But yeah, you have to read this, though, because I normally don't like this guy. I don't know why. It's just some of this stuff seemed to me, maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but it seems either that, I like his stories most of the time. They seem to me they just seem very left. So I don't know. Again, I might be just misinterpreting them. But yeah, this one is basically just, given Islam has now, the Islamic states has now turned our country, obviously Germany too, into the men into like spineless jellyfish. And that's my words for that. And it's actually true. You know what? I got to find that story now. It's not entertaining, but it was in the Daily Mail. Let's see if I can just pop it up. But it was something about how they're trying to. I'll probably get to the story later if I can't find it now. Oh wait, here it is. This is, to me, it's like a total joke. But Germany hands out cartoon etiquette guides at swimming baths after dozens of women have been groped by migrants. So they're giving these like cartoon pamphlets to read just to show them what is appropriate, what is not appropriate. I mean, are you serious? And you really think these migrants are going to really fall for this crap? Are they going to actually follow this stuff? They got some video, and the caption on the video, there's this migrant holding a sign that says, "We respect the values of German society." It's like, no, you don't. Anyway, it says German authorities have issued cartoon posters in public swimming pools. The illustrations are warning migrants not to harass or grope women. Comes after migrants were banned from some swimming pools in Germany. 3 Syrian teenagers arrested in Munch for attack of girls in a public pool. And it says Swedish police are sending the undercover officers into Stockholm's pool. No offense. You're wasting your time. These people are going to pretend like, okay, yeah, we're listening to you. They're not going to listen. Are you serious? I mean, you got to be like more batty than I am. Anyway, it was a lighter story on Daily Mail because I have it up. I'm just going to read it. There were some footprints in some snow bank somewhere. I'll figure out where it is in a second. And they're trying to say it was a Yeti footprints. I mean, come on. Tracker believes mystery trail spotted in a remote area of the Himalayas could come from the legendary beast, the Yeti. Tracker Steve Berry saw a mysterious track in Gawker Peninsula. Well, where did I just say it was? Because I can't, in the Himalayas. Anyway, the locals say no man has ever set foot on past where these tracks were spotted. Experts are skeptical about the tracks and believe they could belong to a goat. That actually looks like what they are. Many expectations staged to find Yeti, but none have ever found proof of it. It's just like almost like an urban legend, But hey, when you got a lot of time on your hands, you can come up and make these fictional characters seem like they're real people or things. Yeah, there was another one. A lot of these stories are from Daily Mail, just to give you a heads up. But this one is kind of entertaining, to say the least. It says, it's a real fixer-upper. California home hits the market for like almost $500,000. It's like $475,000. It literally looks like something from a refugee camp. It looks like a homeless abandoned house. I mean, it looks like the thing actually. If you ever watched Friday the 13th Part 2, that shack that Jason Voorhees lived in, well, that's what it looks like. I'm not even kidding. And the property and everything, they're asking in cash $475,000. It needs a bit of work. It says it's 1,276 feet. It's a home in Northbridge, LA, and it looks like is looking for a cash buyer. The listing states that it's not truly the worst home in the best neighborhood. Since it's truly not the worst home in the best neighborhood, you should see. It literally looks like the thing from Friday the 13th. I'm not even joking. Even the new one, the remake, where it was like a shack that, the one that was the last Friday the 13th, that actually looks better. More livable, too. Average household income in the area is around close to $78,000 a year, while the average home sale price is around $400,000. See news and stories from California. There is a crap load of pictures, and yeah, this is a very scary home. But I don't know who in their right mind would pay $400,000 for something that literally needs to be fumigated before you'd even move in, and torn down, and then fumigate it, and then fumigate it again. I mean, it's just disgusting. So, hey, since I'm hoping this is recording because I don't want to have to do this again. I'm afraid I'll probably have to. Radio Times, Doctor Who has left America, Netflix, and fans are devastated. So, I really don't care because I pay for the show anyway. So, I paid for it since, they brought it back. So, I don't have a problem with it. Personally, years ago, Doctor Who was something for PBS in U.S. and then BBC America had taken it over. So the bottom line is you don't catch Doctor Who on BBC America, you won't catch it at all, or otherwise you're just going to have to do what I do, pay for it, on Amazon, because they're not losing it. Prime, you have to pay for it for a season pass, or iTunes, which I either do one or the other. So, and if it's something I'm actually interested in, I'll do it. Okay, this was another one from the Daily Mail. This one was actually entertaining. Some people in Germany have actually came to grips that, hey, we need to put our foot down with these migrants. So, hey, I'm all for it. A German politician says migrants should be shot at the border if they are trying to enter the country illegally. Well, that is definitely one way to take care of that problem. It's they're showing it. I can't pronounce this. She's a chairman. This woman's a chairman of Germany. 40 years old. She's basically said German border police should shoot illegal migrants. And I agree with that. We should do the same. Leader of right-wing party added that the use of armed forces was the last resort because it's just out of hand now over in there. Alternative for Germany, AfD party now has 11% support in the polls. That's not very high, though. But, hey, I give this woman a lot of credit to say that, listen, the way we handle this is we got to shoot these ones that come in illegally. If we did that, we'd actually clear out most. If we did that in the U.S. with the illegals crossing the border all the time, we're able to shoot them. We could clean out half our nation probably pretty quickly, if not more. Alrighty, since probably at this point people think I'm a total prick, I got to read this one. LifeScience.com. I thought this was pretty funny. It's a study. Homophobes might be hitting homosexuals. And you know what? I kind of have to agree with that because I have certain friends or a friend that is very homophobic. And I keep an open mind. I have one friend who is open-minded more so than I am. And I have another friend who's just completely closed-minded to the whole fact of homosexuals. I keep an open mind because I have friends that were homosexuals and I had no problem with them. Sometimes, I'm talking like I had a friend years ago, probably 30 years ago, was gay. And I didn't have a problem. He was a friend of mine. He tried to hit on me once, and I was like, dude, I'm not gay. Get that through your head. But, he was a friend. He took me around. We bullshitted. We had we basically had some common interests, obviously not in our sexual preferences, but other things. Anyway, it says homophobes should consider a little self-reflective. A little self-reflection suggests a study finding that those individuals who are most hostile towards gays and hold a strong anti-gay view may themselves have some same-sex desires. So I kind of agree with that. For once, I actually do agree with that. Anyway, again, I wish I could just open up and see what's going on with my my PC thing. I'm hoping it's recorded. So I apologize for saying that over and over again. Hey, Mike, I'm sorry to. I don't know how to say it. You don't say condolences. I forget what you're supposed to say. But if you ever watched Howard Stern, there was a character name from the Whack Pack called Crackhead Bob. He just passed away. So, he's actually pretty popular on, one of the more popular, besides Elephant Boy and stuff, was Crackhead Bob. And, it's like it was a shock. It says, farewell to Crackhead Bob. He died at age 56. So I don't know if that was just recent. There's an article. Did put it on my blogcast. Not my blogcast, my Facebook page. So, he'll probably definitely be missed, to say the least. Because the joke with him all the time, just took a swallow, is I am Tari. Because he couldn't, the man could not speak. I don't think he really was a crackhead. It was just a joke, Stern bust on people with their disabilities, and he made money off of it. So Crackhead Bob, you couldn't really understand what he was saying. You know, it might have been for other reasons. Maybe he had a stroke. I don't even know the whole situation. But yeah, I just said he just passed away. I don't know exactly when. But it was on Howard Stern's, howardstern.com, actually, if you're interested. You can go right to the source that way. Another one that is going to be greatly missed. She passed away from cancer, I think, probably a few years ago. Elizabeth Sladen. She played Sarah Jane Smith. The late, great Elizabeth Sladen was born on, it said this day, but this was like a day old now, so it was probably yesterday. Ooh, that means she was an Aquarian like me then, I guess. In the day of 1946. So, yeah. If she was still alive, she would have turned 70 today, so. Excuse me. Yeah, you know, I loved Elizabeth Sladen. A lot of people did. So, yeah, so it's a shame to see that she's not with us any longer, and she would have been 70 if she was still alive. She was a big, she had taken Tom Baker into the character of Doctor Who when he first came on, but originally came on with John Pertwee back in the day for his last season. Anyway, I got a story from the Cinema Blend. It says The Flash, 6 ways the movie can distance itself from the TV show. Yeah, I'm not too happy about that. Now I'm like stuck in my head that the guy who plays the Flash was actually on Glee, and he played a homosexual character, which was really funny. He was a very obnoxious character too, which kind of toned down after he pushed some guy who, quote unquote, was like kind of in the closet and was trying to come out. The character that plays the Flash, I can't remember his name. I don't see it in the article either. He's a really good actor, though. I'm not going to... Well, yeah, I don't need to look it up. He pushes some guy over the edge, and basically the guy tries to commit suicide on Glee. There's a couple stories on Glee that I wanted to mention, too, almost. I didn't put them up. But I got really fascinated because there's like a lot of backstory behind of Glee, where one of the actors actually did overdose on drugs. He was from Canada. He was a character. The character's name was Finn. His name was Corey something. And the guy in real life committed. I'm kind of questioning if it was a suicide attempt using drugs. They said it was an accidental death on a drug overdose and alcohol mixture. But he passed away, I think, just 3 years ago at this point, you know. Because it was like the second to the last season of Glee that they found him dead. They did a special on this the character of Finn, who again was Corey. I can't remember his last name. So yeah, there was a lot of like pretty disturbing things that happened behind the scenes of that show of Glee. But anyway, the one actor who was in I think probably the last 3 seasons, or at least 4. Well, the show was on for 6 years. He was on at least 3 or 4 of the seasons. Who was now playing the character of the Flash? Yeah, it was kind of interesting. He played a totally different part. Actually, it was kind of funny because Jeff Goldblum plays the one character. He plays a gay father, homosexual father, married to another man, and God, I can't remember her name. I should know these people's names. I didn't want to do this. Actually, I had to open up another tab because I won't be able to do it otherwise. So, I just put in Glee characters. I honestly forgot. Rachel Berry, yeah, the character of Rachel Berry, her fathers were a gay couple, married couple, and yeah, they actually showed different people at first. I think the first season, just like photos of these actors or actors that were supposed to be, never really showed them talking, just photos of the character Rachel Berry's parents. And when they finally picked actors for the part, one of them was actually Jeff Goldblum, which was kind of funny. And he did an okay job playing a gay partner, but not a very good one. Now, the guy, Chris Koffler, or Kurt Hummel, I guess was his name. That actor really is gay in real life. He's not just playing it. He's the one person who really was homosexual in real life. Oh yeah, the guy, he did a good job. He played. His name's Max Alder. He played a closet person who actually picked on Kurt for being gay, and he was afraid to come out that he actually was a bully who beat up gay people, or at least Kurt and other people, like bullied, pushed him in the lockers and stuff. And you find out that character was gay himself. And when he comes out, the character, which I don't see him right now because he was like a main character last couple of years. And by the way, before I forget, Finn Hudson was Corey, I think it's Moneth. He was actually Canadian. And that being said, he had a problem when they first started Glee. His passport didn't go through right away, and they were supposed to start filming the show, and it got held up. Like, he almost didn't make it to the first, the first recording of the show because his passport was being held up. So he couldn't, he was a little late first day of shooting, but they actually, got everything under control. Yeah, I can't find him. The one I'm trying to see, character. Let me see if I can. Character. And, I'm really fucking, sorry. Screwing up on it's not being cooperative today on my, thing. Okay, I got a picture of him. He plays the character Barry Allen. Trying to look at his name. Why won't they give his name? Okay, Grant Gustin. Yeah, Grant Gustin played in, I'm surprised he's not on this list for Glee characters, but Grant Gustin was actually on a bit of the episodes, and his name is not on there. So, at least when I'm looking on Google. So, I'm going to have to put in Glee character. Let's see if I can do it this way. I hope that works. He played a character named Sebastian Smith. But, yeah, Grant was on for a couple seasons of, he was a reoccurring character. I don't know. It doesn't. Yeah, seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6. So he's on all 6 seasons. Now, he wasn't like a regular, character that was on every episode, but he was on enough to make him, a reoccurring character. I don't know why they don't just have him listed. Now, there was another actor I just met who is, I think in real life he really is. He's a transsexual, not a transgender, but a transsexual. And this guy really sounds like a woman, and he's got music out. He sounds like a woman, sings like a woman. He's got an incredible voice. He looks like a woman when he's in his drag, I guess, so to speak. I gotta look at his name. He's not even on the list either, which is kind of weird. I just I finally figured out the difference between transsexual and transgender. The basic difference is one person just, a transsexual is a person who dresses up like a woman, believes he is a woman, or just feels more comfortable, but does not get an operation done. A transgender is a person who is a person who physically gets operations done to become a woman. Oh, wow, I didn't even know this. Wow, this was a shock. I was kind of questioning this. I thought I was gonna I'm gonna have to put this on my Facebook now. I did not know that. Really good actress. She was a transgender, different actress. Is the one who plays The actress's name is Dot Jones. On transition into a transgender character in Glee. She played the coach Beastie. Actually, I thought she was a woman, though. Dot Jones is no stranger to a emotionally charged storyline as Coach Beastie on Glee. She's done more than just whip McKinley football team into shape since the season 2. She became an Emmy nominated for her work on the show 3 times in the guest actress category, as well as Glee and the obscenity in the comedy, whatever. But anyway, Jones work has dealt with body image issues, domestic violence in the past. She's a really good character, but I guess maybe she was a transgender. I don't know. I thought maybe she was, and then I was kind of questioning it. It was not the one I had in mind. The one I was actually thinking of was he's a young kid. I think he's not even 21 now. She's only 52, weighs 250 pounds. Married. Well, she's married to a woman, so yeah, I don't know. Is she really? No, I'm just kind of. Let me put this in. I just put in, is she or transgender? Because I kind of questioned that for a long time. So, I mean, that's pretty cool, I guess, for her. Yeah, it's a character you end up like really starting to like, Dot Marie Jones, but I guess maybe she was. I guess she was a transgender. I did not know that. Sorry, my thing's shutting down again. Yeah, I honestly thought that was just a kind of a thing that, you know, she looked kind of more like a man than a woman. I thought they were just trying to play with that. That no, that's not true. She's not really a transgender person, or because the whole first season was her looking so manly. I mean, the jokes were just basically in that direction. I didn't realize that, yeah, she really is like basically a transgender. So, yeah, so that's pretty weird. But yeah, the whole thing was not that. My whole thing was I was looking for this guy who was on the show. He really, like, when he dressed up in the drag, he sounds, and he could, young guy, could pass for a woman. And then I end up going on this other thing. So let me see. Glee character. Transsexual. So yeah, the character I'm thinking of, he's a black guy, kid. And he has, yeah, here he is. He really, I was looking at him even as a man. I mean, he's a young man now. Age 22 to 23. Says gender female, signed male at birth. Because I was going to say, I was completely convinced that this guy was a girl pretending to be a guy, then pretending to be a woman. It's like that one movie I can't remember now. But yeah, I don't understand that. That one kind of confused me. She's got a, I don't know. I don't want to be like disrespectful. So, but he or she, it says Unique Adams, but see, that's the character name. Okay. They're going by, see, I don't know his real name though, because I think it is a guy. But he affiliates himself as being more of a woman. Really is the first really convincing, even in drag, does, even as a man, looks truly like a woman. Wow, here's another story. Yeah, so I got another story I have to post. It's on Dot Marie. She is actually a really incredible actress. I didn't realize she was a transgender, but I think, again, what do you call it, is a transsexual. The one they call Unique Adams. Student. See, I want to find out the actor's real name. Because the character was actually really neat. Let me just put in Unique Adams and see, because that's his character name on Glee. Alex Newell, but is that his real name or is that the other character name? Yeah, okay. Alex Newell, born August 20th, 1992, is 23 years old, and he's an American actor and singer. He's known for his role in Glee as Unique Adams, and he is a runner-up along with Lindsay Pierce on the first season of the Glee Project. So I wonder if there's going to be I hope so. I don't even know what the Glee Project is. I'll look that up. So maybe there's going to be another show. That'd be cool. He says gender male, August 1992. So, yeah, he is a guy. But he truly looks like a woman when he's dressed up. Even as a man, he looks like a woman. And that's pretty impressive. That's very impressive. Yeah, Glee Project. Wow. So here's something new I'm going to have to post. Glee Project returns for its second season of the competition series, searches for another singer or more to make up the guest appearances on the popular Fox series Glee. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Ryan Murphy, co-creator of... I didn't even know they actually did that. There was 2 seasons of this show. First episode was in 2011, and the final episode was in 2012, called the Glee Project. Wow. That's how they got new people for the show. I'm going to post that. Yeah. I didn't know that. Wow. See, I find things out as I do my show. Yeah, I wonder if that's something they have up to watch, because I would be willing to watch it. No, I'm surprised they never released those, though, because it was on for 2 seasons. Men's... Yeah, that's new to me. Yeah. I never even heard of it, though, the Glee Project. Well, you know, because I don't actually watch my shows live. I just kind of do the other thing. But, yeah, that's how I didn't know. That's how they got new recruits all the time, was with the Glee Project, which was on for a little bit. They should really seriously think about releasing that. So I apologize. I was talking about these political stories, and I kind of went off on Glee and lost my train of thought. So I'm just going to try to pick up where I left off. I did want to kind of loosen the mood a little bit, too, because a lot of my stories are very, very depressing, to say the least. Anyway, going back into the political stuff, I have this story. I'm just going to read the ones I have up. Overpassforamerica.com. Korea taking final steps to launch a nuclear weapon at U.S. video. Hashtag 04A, hashtag news. That was the other day. So, yeah, you know what they're going to be. Yeah. It says a launch site, and it shows a little global map, and it's showing, launch site, and then it says Washington, D.C., looks like Seattle and Los Angeles is their points that they want to hit in Honolulu. So, we got the problems with the Muslims, and we have the problems with the North Koreans now, with nuclear weapons that are almost ready to, ready for launch, so to speak. So we're seeing more problems in our near future, bottom line. And this is why we need to make, we got to kind of wise up a bit and, not act like the way we are now. So, sorry, I'm looking at something else. So on my friend would bust me on this. It's on this website called sammydress.com. Close fit in standard collar Superman costume, long sleeve cycling suit. A bicycle suit for like $29. So it's like a cycle suit, but it's basically it's a tights for men. Spandex outfit for men, but it's Superman. Lightens the mood, though, doesn't it? Anyway, there was one from Daily Mail again. I had it was kind of entertaining. What's the emergency? A bizarre moment in Miami where a motorist pulls over a police officer and tells him that he was speeding. Basically, Claudia Costello noticed a police officer speeding and decided to follow him. The Miami woman filmed herself chasing the police officer down the highway. She eventually got the officer to pull over and lectured him about speeding. I think that's pretty funny. I'm sorry. I just got a really strange sense of humor. I did have another story about these gang rapes with these guys, and please don't take offense to it, but the mugshots are all of African-American boys. But opposing views, 5 high school kids try to do something awful to a girl and for the second time don't notice one little thing. 5 underage students from Florida high school have been charged with a gang rape of a 16-year-old on November 13th. Now, the thing about this story, I'll just let you know now, one of the kids was borderline being an adult. I think he was just about to turn 18. So I think he was 17 at the time or whatever. But since he was so close, they're going to wait to try him as an adult at age 18 because he was on the borderline. So, this was on opposing views. I won't go in, because I always mess up these stories, so I won't bother read it. But they try to rape the 16-year-old, and by the sounds of it, they said second time. So, they didn't learn their lesson the first time. You can't do this stuff. And by them doing it again, and most of them actually, or at least one of them out of the 5, almost becoming a consensual adult, is going to be tried as an adult now. And it says the maximum sentence is going to be 30 years, so good for them. So I'm not going to go into grave details. I had a lighter mood for a while there, and I'm going back to these dark stories. Why go back to these dark stories again, even though I am. I got a story that I found from eaglerising.com. Muslims in Germany say sex attacks will continue until the government bans alcohol. So, a little bit of a joke there for me. I'm not going to read this. You can find it again on Eagle Rising. There was that one time on Glee, because I did talk about Glee earlier, where the episode, they actually had a theme song called Blame It on the Alcohol, how alcohol causes people to do not sexual deviant acts of attacking people, but other things like becoming just irresponsible young adults. And, now that, no puns intended, because there was that song, Blame It on the Alcohol. It was actually a song that Glee covered, the Glee cast. And now they're saying, oh, yeah, you got to cut back on the alcohol consumption, and this will cut back on these Muslims. I mean, there's no way they're going to take anywhere they're going to take any responsibility. So, anyway, I have a story from American News. Wife sets husband on fire after finding out that he did what he did to her 7-year-old child. A Washington state man was set on fire by his wife and now is facing charges for allegedly molesting his own stepdaughter. That's pretty funny. The 52-year-old Vincent Phillips was doused in gasoline and was set on fire while he slept with his wife, 40-year-old Tanisha Hedman. Reports say that he was set on fire and the man got in his car and drove to a local convenience store. He went inside and begged the police for help. So even though he got, he wasn't doing anything right. I think hers is a little bit more severe, but he's the one going to be paying the price in many ways. He says, "I'm on fire," Phillips reportedly screamed to the police in the store. "Help me." After the medics and the police arrived, Phillips told them, "My wife just what she had did." When the police eventually arrested Hedman, she told them that she lit her husband, on fire because he was sexually abusing her 7-year-old daughter, who was his stepdaughter. Hedman told authorities that she decided to set him on fire rather than shoot him because shooting him would be too nice. Well, I actually have to take her point of view too, because what better way of getting somebody who's doing something wrong, a sex offender or anything else, than make them suffer, for the long haul. I mean, put him out of his misery. He's not going to suffer at all. Seriously. Phillips reportedly still in intensive care unit. He's in intensive care still, but is now facing first-degree child molestation charges. As for Hedman, she remains in jail on assault and arson charges and being held on $500,000 bail. And the reason that her bail is the same amount that they would give to a man is not because she is unattractive. Okay, yeah, it is actually, because probably that's why. Seriously, she's not that attractive, and this poor woman, well, she's not poor, but trust me, I think a lot of people will be giving her a pat on the back to the fact that she had made this sex offender's life a living hell, even if it's her husband. So, you got to take her side, because most people would. Anyway, I just took a swallow. I hope this is recorded, too. I know I said that before. I'm actually not going to begin to read this one. I'm just going to read what the title is. It's from Breitbart. It says, NYT Peter Baker, Democrats are quietly absolutely petrified about Hillary's FBI investigation. I was listening to the Friday show of Rush Limbaugh. Finally got through the last hour today, on Monday. And, come on, let's face it. For some reason, she's a Democrat. 2, she's a woman. And 3, doesn't even matter. That does not even matter. She's a freaking Clinton. So even Rush was saying, when everything's said and done, she's going to still be able to run for president. She's going to get the presidential elect for the Democrat Party. And there's not going to be anybody who's going to stop her because, it's just the Clintons are like some type of, Democratic mafia that you can't freaking touch them. You cannot touch the Clintons. So let's face it. Reading the story is just a waste of time because you're going to find out she's going to still get elected for the Democratic Party. She's going to be the presidential elect. That's my gut feeling, and that was Clinton. That was Rush's when I finally listened to the show. We got a story. This was kind of weird American news. This poor guy, doctors make disturbing find while checking what this man was getting these severe headaches. I get them too. I hope this is not the case. I don't think it is. He had maggots in his head under a steel plate he had put on. He was a Vietnam vet. So, and they show pictures of the maggots. It's pretty disgusting. Still alive. Like embedded underneath this steel plate that was put again in this man's head, this poor man's head. Doctors in Vietnam are still scratching their heads after removing dozens of maggots from under the scalp of a patient who had been complaining of headaches. One doctor says the maggots may have saved the man's life. That I don't understand. Recently this man had told that the maggots were living in the man's skull near the Malaysian doctors had previously implanted a titanium plate. Where they put the plate, there was maggots now under there. Obviously got infected. The man identified by the Daily Mail reportedly had a plate implanted 3 years earlier after being struck with a metal bar. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was a Vietnam vet. No, he was from Vietnam. He got struck by a metal bar at his job. So, saying he suffered from occasional headaches ever since the surgery. They literally do put metal plates in your head, though. It was mostly okay until a year ago when he noticed it was swollen and sore to touch this part of his head. I guess the plate was put underneath the skin. And he said he didn't want to go to the hospital again because he hoped, because I kind of cut to a different, I didn't read this directly through to let you know, obviously. I guess he was at the hospital before with these pains and nothing was really done. So he finally had to go back again. It was 3 years later, and I'm still paying the bill back for this last operation because I guess this metal plate thing placed in his head was not cheap. As the pain grew more intense, however, family members inspected his skull and noticed maggots crawling underneath the skin, ultimately covering him to go back to the hospital. So the maggots were actually making their way out of his skull, out of the top of his head, the skin. And there's a quote that says, "In fact, the reason that it was swollen was because it was infected, and eventually some tissue had died, leaving him with a festering injury. When they took him into surgery, we discovered several maggots which were removed," which I have a picture of, by the way. They're still alive. They said, another quote, they needed to carry out a full operation to remove the maggots that had managed to go deeper. They added. But how's this saved him? It said the maggots infestation and surgical wounds on the head are extremely rare, and that he could only find 8 references in such infestations in medical literature. All patients in those cases had died, but the titanium plate left likely saved him. So it wasn't the maggots that saved it. It was actually the metal plate. Strangely enough, maggots might, but then it says, strangely enough, the maggots might have saved his life as well. It doesn't make any sense. There's a quote that says, that the maggots may have kept him alive by eating the dead tissue that might have otherwise made the infection spread more quickly and killed him. Okay, so that makes sense. So the maggots actually served a purpose as well, because around where this operation was done for this man and where the metal plate was placed, it caused an infection. And the infection caused dead tissue, but it also developed, somehow he ended up getting maggots. So I don't know where maggots, I thought they come from like flies and stuff. But these maggots, the larvae do, actually were eating the dead tissue, which helped it from spreading even further. So that's like a really weird thing to mention. This story was actually the reason I wanted to do a podcast today when I got my voice back, so, enough to do a show. And it was from overpassforamerica.com. Now, this is very offensive for anybody. But it's these little kids that are, basically illegal immigrants in our country. Little kids. They speak English, but the one kid in the video is like basically deport this, and he's giving the middle finger with a smile on his face. And it's to deport racism 2016. And these kids are going off. These little kids are mouthing off like, go fuck yourself. Hey, this you call us all these names. You're bad mouthing us. That's not fair. Even though we're illegal, you're being unfair to us. And these little kids are saying it. So it says, foul mouth, racist, illegal alien kids prove deportation is a necessary video. #04A, #news, #anchor baby. So, yeah, it actually meant, you got to watch that video, by the way. It's on my Facebook, or just go directly to overpassforamerica.com, and these kids are very vulgar in this video. I'm not even kidding. And they're like 7 years old, probably. And it even has, right, like before the video, there's a caption that says, be prepared to be outraged. There's another one underneath, California is occupied territory. Basically it's got all these illegal immigrants. And it says on top of that one, the rest are anchor babies or outright illegal aliens who are being fed, schooled, and housed on your taxes. This is what California has made themselves. I've actually always wanted to live in California, but it's actually really scary, too, that I would want to do that. Not for that reason, either. Hey, I love this. Alan West puts up some really good stories. I should actually read his stuff. I'm afraid just to destroy it, because I'm like a big fan. I'm like a big supporter. I really honestly don't know why Alan West has not tried to run for president, because hands down, my vote would go for him before it even would wink an eye or blink an eye, because I just love the man that much. He's what the Republican Party really needs, but he's not going to do it. He basically put on this web link. It's at alanwest.com. Revealed Democrats' secret strategy to steal the election. So he wrote this: the Democrat Party policies are full of contradictions. I'm going to try this once again, and see if I can open up my thing. Yeah, it's still jammed, my computer. Anyways, it says, take illegal immigration, for example, one on which they take a soft stance, and contrast it with the disdain for corporations that pay low wages. Don't they realize flooding the country with illegal pushes wages down? So, yeah, see, I admire Alan West. Like, that man should be president, hands down. The man doesn't throw any punches, unnecessary punches. The man knows what he's talking about. It only makes sense when you realize that the end goal, they don't see the country being flooded with illegals. They see it being flooded with future Democrat voters. Need any more evidence? He basically says, just look at how they're rushing to exploit non-citizen Latinos ahead of the next election. As Washington Examiner reported, the Service Employees International Union is teaming up with 4 Latino adversary organizations and a key House Democrat to convert as many of the 5 million Latino permanent residents into U.S. citizens and voters as possible before the election day. So, again, this goes on a little bit further, but Alan West, that man, dude, you should run for president. I really wish he would. That was just put up yesterday. Anyway, some belated happy birthdays. One from Fox 29. Happy birthday to Jackie Robinson. He was born in 1919, and he died in 1972. He was a baseball player on the Dodgers. Is that Brooklyn Dodgers? So, sorry for that delayed thing. Yeah, this is where I went off. So I'm so sorry. I was talking about a while back The Flash in 6 ways it can distance itself from the TV show, and then I went off on Glee again. I got to take another swallow. Anyway, despite the fact that The Flash is enjoying its enormous success on the TV right now, Warner Brothers has opted to induce different live-action Scarlet Speedsters for DC Extended Universe, played by Ezra Miller, first coming on Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Her probably be introduced in Justice League Part 1, which will lead to his own movie in 2018. So far, details are light on Barry Allen's solo adventure, which will be directed by Seth Grahame-Smith. So basically, they're getting a different Barry Allen for the movies. That's what they're trying to say. What I'm not saying, but I'm trying to say. There's been a lot of stories about that controversy on Cinema Blend. I do feel bad for the guy who plays Barry Allen in the TV show, because he's the one who made it so successful. So, but they're not picking him for the movie. They're going different directions with the characters from the TV show and the characters in these movies. And it's not just Barry Allen, by the way. New Doctor Who. I got another story from Radio Times. New Doctor Who photos show the size of the Doctor Who screwdriver, which is immensely big. And he was complaining that the old one, why they got rid of the sonic screwdriver that Peter Capaldi had, it was basically screwing up, or it wouldn't fit in his coat pocket. So anyway, consider the Doctor ditched his sonic screwdriver last series because it ruined the lining of his jacket. His newest sonic screwdriver is really massive, so it makes no fucking sense to me. Why would you complain about your old sonic screwdriver and you get a new one, which is definitely personalized now for the new Doctor, who unfortunately will be leaving, not next year because they're putting Doctor Who in hiatus next year. Simply because next year, they said because of the Olympics, the BBC wants to spend more time covering the Olympic Games. And Peter Capaldi, for his last season, which he apparently is going to be leaving after he does one more season, won't be broadcasted and filmed not until 2017. So, and then following that will be a new director and a new Doctor Who, which I'm hoping will be a male. They are speculating it will be a male actor playing the part once again. I really would hope with this new director that he will go one step further and return the rightful ownership of the Master back to a male actor. Now, I have nothing against, what is her name? The woman who plays the Master, because she's really hot. That's one reason why. But I don't like her being the Master. That's the bottom line. And I'm trying to, sorry about that. I'm trying to look up her name because it's like something Gomez, Melissa Gomez or something like that. Honestly, I like him, the guy they picked for the Master also. I liked the actor who played him, and I honestly, I didn't like him as the Master. I'm trying to look for his name, which was it John Sims or something? Yeah, because they're not showing his name. I think it's John Sims. And great actor, like a really, really good actor. But, yeah, John Sims. John Sims playing the Master from 2007 to 2010. Excellent actor, but I couldn't stand him as the Master. I think I despised him more than I despise Michelle Gomez. She's really hot, though. The only actor I liked who played the Master, who was not of the traditional origins, was Eric Roberts. I think he did an incredible job. He definitely played the character really different, but I really liked it. But John Sims and Michelle Gomez, who is the present Master, I don't like the fact that they're playing the part at all. I think they're both, they're incredible actors, but I just don't want them to see them playing that part. So that's just my opinion. I'm entitled to that. So anyway, I got this story. It was on Overpass for America.com. Yale joins Harvard in jihadist university ranks. Opening Sharia law. Hashtag 04A. Hashtag news. Hashtag Yale. Hashtag Harvard. So my thing is, I guess they are incorporating the Sharia law into Yale. I think that's just really sad if it is correct. Yale University is going so far left, it says, that it doesn't know what right is anymore, what the right thing is to do anymore. One of the most revealed revealed institutions of higher learning, or that's like one of the highest. Yale University, I mean, that's like a really prestigious school, but they became so left on their political views, they can't find the right anymore. It says revealed as one of the highest learning in the world, like one of the most prestigious schools. Yale is, like most colleges and universities, is no longer a stranger to having a liberal bias. I will not read that one. But that is just really beyond scary. So, let's see. I had a story from Joe the Plumber. Benghazi witnesses confirm what Hillary has been hiding. She's in trouble. Again, you can say that I appreciate that she's hiding stuff, and it should get her not only not be able that she can't run for president. It also should make her serve some prison time, but it's not going to do either of the two that I just mentioned. But if you want to read it, there is a story that, they got enough information to discriminate upon her, but it's not working. You know what they end up doing? The left has gone so far left, even the political news. I don't have any stories on that they were trying to now throw, the left and the media is trying to throw Cruz under the bus, saying that he had government documents that were, kind of, in my own words, kind of exposed, and that he should be taken down a peg or two. Like, he shouldn't be able to run, basically, because he's got criminal acts on him on, basically exposing, so to speak, government documentation. It's like, okay, so it's all right for Hillary to do it. Like, they're going to bring it, expose it, but she's like, bulletproof to getting hurt by the stuff she's done, which is really extremely criminal. So what do? They now try to say, well, look, in so many words or less, in my own words, look, Senator Cruz has done the same thing, and his is much worse than what she's done, which is a bunch of bullshit. It's just a way of just taking the focus off of her and place it on somebody else. Here's another one I would have read earlier. I'm reading it now. It was on downtread.com. I read this the other day, but it's gotten even more humorous with that woman who was kind of like attractive looking black woman who spent all her life savings on lottery tickets to win the $1 billion Powerball. There's an article now that says this woman thinks America should reimburse her for her Powerball losses. In a video, she's actually hit the news now. This Cinnamon Nicole from Tennessee spent all her money on the Powerball tickets the other week, and she thinks America should pay her back. It's no joke. There's actually a news segment now. Here is a whiny message she allegedly wrote to the GoFundMe page. Yeah, but it's hit the news now. It's actually gone even further. And she did collect enough money after the backlash. Cinnamon removed the fundraising page, but not before she felt sorry for the Americans felt sorry for her and donated over $800 for her cause. But yeah, now there's a news segment it said rush it on to the winning Powerball ticket, big jackpot, a danger for gambling addicts. So it's basically we should enable her irresponsibility. Like, literally, it's our responsibility to pay for her not be able to control her way of spending money wastefully. So, hey, I promise that's probably like the last of my really gruesome stories. I do have a heart-wrenching one I just found. No puns intended, though. Doctors successfully, it was on Daily Mail, successfully separate conjoined twins who became the smallest ever pair of surviving in surgery. These are infants, and they were like adjoined at the chest and sharing certain organs, but they were able to separate them successfully. Twins called Maya and Lida became the smallest to survive separation. They were born in December and fused at their chest, livers and hearts, and it said successful surgery was carried out by experts at a Swedish hospital. So this is very heart-wrenching. Again, no, not even not trying to be funny or puns. It is very kind of cool that they survived because they were so small and they were actually sharing, a bit amongst each others, amongst these two. Doctors have successfully separated the conjoined twin sisters, fused at the liver and chest, and the smallest pair ever to survive this surgery. Once again, 5 surgeons assisted the 2 nurses and 6 anesthesiologists carried out the successful 5-hour operation to separate these teeny identical twins at the hospital in Bern, Switzerland. They were actually born prematurely along with the triple sister Camellia in December. Yeah, so if you want to read on that story, it's actually really fascinating. I didn't know there was actually a third one in the mix, but these two were conjoined. These poor little kids, those little girls. So hopefully the success story will continue, and I won't have to read another story where it did not, like there were some complications later on. I hope not. I really hope not. So, I gotta mention this now. I'm really depressed because I was hoping last night, something different note. Grease Live was on last night. I was like really looking forward to it, but I was so sick. I just had to lay down all day. I'm trying to get myself back into healthy shape before I go away this Saturday. And I figured, well, you know what? I'll just, rent it or purchase it on iTunes or on Amazon Prime, today. Well, guess what? They're not doing that. They're not going to release it that you can rent it. Because I would have definitely rented it for a couple bucks. Just to see, because I really love these musical things. They're not doing it, though. I don't know when they're going to release it. And what they're going to do is they're going to release it first on like a DVD. It's like, I'm willing just to stream the freaking show, but now I got to wait. I thought I would only have to wait a couple hours, not like a couple months. So that just really pissed me off. And they were really hyping it on Fox the whole entire week about this Grease Live special. It got like a lot of hype on Facebook by different actors who were watching it. They were saying, yeah, it was really good. It was like, great. I can't watch it now. I'm really pissed. Anyway, I got this funny story. I think it's funny. It's not really. It was on Daily Mail. It says this woman who was pregnant is working out to like Justin Bieber music, and she's pregnant. She's like really pregnant, and it says basically she got this energetic Justin Bieber dance routine down, but then her water broke. And it said it was from Australia, actually, Daily Mail Australia. McLady filmed the video at 5 p.m. before her water broke at 9 p.m. So she was doing like, maybe it's not too good to do too, and this looked like really strenuous. I mean, she's like working out, and she's like pregnant, and her water broke. I thought it was going to be when she was actually working out. It actually happened much later. She performed this routine flawlessly despite her known baby bump. I mean, it's like she's like ready to give birth right now. She's that pregnant looking. The video has been viewed more than 534,000 times and has 4,800 likes. See the update. Son Justin Bieber hit at basically www.dailymail.uk Justin Bieber. It's kind of funny though, but at the same time, I don't think that's a really good thing for your child. That's not, unborn child, that you're jumping around like a crazy person. I mean, I know you want to keep yourself physically fit, but you got to take into consideration your child. So anyway, it was really entertaining. I do have a last story, and it was coming soon. Avatar 2, Wolverine 3, 50 Shades Darker, and more start dates. So you can read that on comingsoon.net. I really wanted to see the 50 Shades of Dark, which actually just came out this past weekend. It looks really funny because it is I hope I'm getting their names right. The Coen brothers, whatever. Those guys are hilarious. I mean, they are really funny. So that I'm actually looking forward to. I've never seen the Avatar movies. I'm sorry. And the Wolverine movie, I didn't see the last one. I heard it was really bad anyway. So obviously I'm not missing anything per se. But, a friend sent me. Oh, no. A friend did not send me a story, but I'm posting it now. Let me see what it's about because I have no clue. 2 Virginia Tech students arrested in relation to murder of a 13-year-old Nicole Lavelle, the Dreamin' Demon. This just went up, actually. This was in Virginia. Police have arrested 2 Virginia Tech students in connection to the abduction and murder of a 13-year-old Nicole Lavelle. According to Lavelle's parents, the daughters pushed a dresser against her bedroom door and climbed out the window. So this poor kid. There's always stories. This one actually has a video to it, too. Student Athlete of the Week, David. So, yeah. According to Lavelle's parents, yeah, I already read that. Since she did not take... Huh. Wow. All right, maybe I will reread this. Arrested in Virginia Tech students. According to Lavelle's parents, the daughter pushed a dresser against the bedroom door and climbed out the window last Tuesday night. On Wednesday morning, since she did not take her so she was on like liver medication. She had to take daily. It assumed that Lavelle believed she would be returning home before her family woke up. Unfortunately, she never did, and she never will. On Saturday, her body was found 60 miles away from North Carolina. I have a brother who lives there and his family. Before the day was over, police would arrest David Escher, an 18-year-old Virginia Tech student, and charge him with Lavelle's abduction and murder. There has been a lot of details on the surrounding how this investigation honed in on Escher, but police said that Lavelle and Escher were acquainted, and Escher used this relationship to abduct his 13-year-old girl. So basically, it was like some type of sexual, I assume, affair going on with this 13-year-old girl and his college student from that, what do you call it, Virginia Tech. Here's some video of Escher after being named Student Athlete of the Week before he was abducting and murdering a 13-year-old girl. Now, my guess is, I don't think he necessarily killed this girl, but obviously they said this girl was on medication for her liver, which she has to take on a daily basis. And it sounds to me that by her basically taking off, overnight with this guy who's a college student, and her not taking her medication when she's supposed to, you can't live without your liver. That she died from not taking her medication wasn't necessarily that he killed her, but that's more of an indirect thing. So that's a shame for that kid, but you know what? Again, I mean, a parent can't, what do you call it? Can't suspect that I better keep an eye on my child. I mean, I can't blame the parents for this one either. But in some ways, I mean, it's just this generation where these, and a lot of it probably is going to be blamed. It can be blamed on the internet because this girl snuck out of her house. She had a serious type of problem. Obviously she was on liver medication, and she ended up dying, I would assume, from not taking her medication. Not that this guy assaulted and murdered her like in the way they're making it sound. I think it's something completely different. And unfortunately, it seems like there's more and more stories with these underage relationships with adults surfacing at to me like an alarming rate, and it just kind of gets continuously swept under the rug. And unfortunately, these kids, they're, I guess in most cases they're acting like, well, some cases they truly are being victimized, but in other ways, at least for these younger girls, they kind of welcome this with open arms, because if you're a young kid or young girl especially, and you got some older man, a guy even in his early 20s that's hitting on you and wants to have a sexual relationship, what's that going to make her feel like? What's going to make her feel like, oh my God, like, I'm a 13-year-old and, I can get this mature adult to, have a sexual relationship with me. That, it makes them feel like, because kids at that age, honestly, come on, let's for either guys or girls, their esteem level, especially for females, probably, I would assume, from what I've read in the past, is, they usually have a very low self-esteem. And where do they get their build up, their esteem level? Well, I hate to tell you, it's from maybe not sexual relationships, but that would be definitely one more step in their favor. But it's having relationships at all. It's more important. I mean, I hate to say this. If you ever hear a female, a young girl speak, and I know my one friend says this all the time with his younger students, that their whole life is dependent. They're, finding themselves, finding their identity is finding it through, their significant other, through their boyfriend. They, discover themselves, and they discover who they are through having a relationship with a guy. Like, they can't find, like, they don't have their own. And I sounds really cruel, but it's true, because I'm pushing 50, and when I was a teenager, I never had a girlfriend at all, and still don't. But I didn't need to have a girlfriend to find who I am as a human being. But it seems, for some reason, maybe it's just a societal thing, but the girls in our country, and probably not just our country, I think other countries, females are actually the same way. They find who they are, not saying for every woman or girl, but most women and girls find who they are through, they identify themselves through their mate. And it's just factual. I mean, it's nothing that, hey, I'm just telling you something you don't know. It's just a fact. So I don't need to find a partner to find myself and identify with who I am, or, I'm not a person, I'm not completely full, but I'm not completely empty for not having a relationship. So I'm just stating this is probably obviously what happened with this young girl. And if she had a liver problem, a bad liver, that's even more in her favor, that she had some older guy hitting on her. It was actually an athlete too, from that that's school in. Let's see if I can find it again. Because I just posted it, so it won't be that hard to find. From Virginia Tech. I mean, yeah, that's got to be a real ego booster for her. But hey, it's not going to be an ego booster for anymore, unfortunately. So, yeah, you know what? I think I've said everything I needed to say. Again, I just hope this is recorded, so I apologize for repeating myself for like several hundred times, but I hope you enjoyed my show, and I'm going to try to see if I can kind of turn this off. So, hey, it's February 1st, so hope you enjoyed my show, and I am signing off. I'm going to have a lag right here because I can't log in. So thanks again for listening if you are. Alrighty, have a good afternoon. This is Walter from iWalter signing off.